If you have spent any time in the corners of the internet dedicated to spiritual health, you have undoubtedly been sold a very specific narrative about your pineal gland. You have been told that it is calcified, turned to stone by fluoride and modern toxins. You have been told that the only way to decalcify it is to buy expensive supplements, consume exotic superfoods, or undergo rigorous detox protocols. But what if I told you that this model is fundamentally incomplete? What if I told you that 80 years ago, Edgar Cayce, the most documented psychic of the 20th century, described the pineal gland not as a chemical filter that gets clogged, but as a delicate musical instrument that has simply gone out of tune? Cayce did not view the third eye as something you fix with a pill. He viewed it as a piece of organic technology that requires a specific form of activation. He taught that the pineal gland is the eye of the soul, the physical anchor point where the finite mind meets the infinite. And the key to unlocking it isn't chemistry, it is physics. Specifically, it is the physics of vibration, light, and intention. Today, we are going to walk through the Cayce activation method. This is a protocol that requires 0 supplements. It costs $0. It relies on the biological fact that your pineal gland contains microcrystals that respond to mechanical stress, a phenomenon known as piezoelectricity. We are going to use your own voice, your own breath, and your own mind to mechanically and energetically stimulate this gland back into operation. If you are tired of the brain fog, the lack of intuition, and the feeling of being spiritually disconnected, this is the manual you have been waiting for. To understand why this method works, we must first understand what we are dealing with. The pineal gland is a tiny pinecone-shaped structure sitting in the precise geometric center of your brain. In the Cayce readings, it is described as the Mount of the Lord, the highest peak of the endocrine system. Cayce explained that the human body is like a harp or a lyre. The 7 major endocrine glands, from the gonads at the base to the pineal at the top, are the strings. When we play this instrument correctly, the energy rises from the earth, moves through the body, and activates the pineal, granting us what he called spiritual sight, or the single eye. But for most modern people, this energy never reaches the top. It gets stuck in the lower centers, in survival fear, in hunger, in ego. The pineal gland sits dormant. It effectively atrophies from lack of use. Modern science has given us a fascinating clue that supports Cayce's vision. In the late 20th century, scientists discovered that the pineal gland is not just a gland, it is actually filled with calcite microcrystals. Crystals, by their nature, are piezoelectric. This means that when you squeeze them or when you vibrate them, they generate an electrical charge.
Think of a quartz watch. It works on the same principle. This means your third eye is literally a crystal radio receiver waiting for a signal. The reason supplements often fail to open the third eye is that they are trying to clean the radio, but they aren't plugging it in. The Cayce method is about plugging it in. It uses the vibration of your own voice to physically shake these crystals, generating the electrical field necessary to receive higher frequencies. The protocol I am about to teach you consists of 3 distinct pillars: resonance, the tuning; luminosity, the signal; and release, the circuit breaker. You cannot skip one. If you vibrate the gland but you are full of anger, you will burn out the fuse. If you visualize the light but you don't raise the vibration, nothing happens. We need all 3. Let's begin with the first pillar, resonance. Cayce was very specific about the power of sound. He said, "Sound is the medicine of the future." To activate the pineal, we need to create a vibration that resonates directly in the center of the cranium, affecting the sphenoid bone where the pituitary sits and the center of the brain where the pineal sits. We do this through a specific type of humming. This is not the Om chant you might know from yoga, which often resonates in the chest. This is a higher-pitched nasal hum designed to vibrate the skull. Here's the technique. Sit with your spine perfectly straight. This is non-negotiable. Cayce described the Kundalini energy rising up the spine like mercury in a thermometer. If the spine is crooked, the energy cannot rise. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath into your belly. Keep your mouth closed, teeth slightly apart, and tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. As you exhale, make a high-pitched sound. You want to focus the sound not in your throat, but right behind your nose, in the space between your eyes. You should physically feel a buzzing sensation in your forehead and the center of your head. It might feel like a tiny drill or a gentle pressure. This is the piezoelectric effect kicking in. You are physically shaking the calcite crystals. We will do this for 7 breaths. Each hum should last the entire length of your exhale. This is the mechanical starter motor for the gland. The second pillar is luminosity. Once the gland is vibrating, we must give it a frequency to tune into. Cayce often quoted the scripture, "If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." He linked the pineal gland to the color indigo, a deep, rich, midnight blue-purple. This is the color of the deep ocean or the sky just before total darkness. While you are humming, you must engage your imaginative forces. Cayce taught that imagination is not make-believe, it is the builder. It is how the mind shapes energy. So, as you are humming, keep your eyes closed but look slightly upward toward the space between your eyebrows. Do not strain your eyes, just a gentle upward gaze.
Visualize a pearl of intense indigo light sitting right in the center of your brain. With every inhale, imagine you are pulling white light down from the cosmos, through the crown of your head, and feeding it into this indigo pearl. With every exhale, imagine that pearl glowing brighter and expanding, pulsing with the vibration of your voice. You are essentially telling your brain, wake up, this is where the energy goes. You are directing the flow. Without this mental direction, the energy generated by the humming just dissipates. The third pillar is the most difficult, and it is the one most people ignore: release. Cayce was adamant about this. No eye is open that holds a grudge. This is not a moral judgment, it is energetic mechanics. The pineal gland is the highest vibration in the body. Resentment, anger, judgment, and fear are low, dense vibrations. If you try to open your third eye while holding on to a grudge against your boss, your ex-partner, or yourself, you create a short circuit. The energy hits a wall of density. This often manifests as a headache, pressure in the temples, or dizziness. Therefore, the protocol requires a forgiveness flush. Before or immediately after your humming practice, you must consciously release tension. Bring to mind one person or situation that is causing you stress. Say internally, I release you. I release the need to judge this. I choose clarity instead. Feel the tension drop from your jaw and shoulders. You have to clear the static noise so the clear signal can come through. Cayce called this making the way clear. Now, let's put this together into a daily practice you can do every morning. It takes less than 10 minutes. Step 1. Preparation. Sit in a quiet place, spine straight, feet flat on the floor to ground your circuit. Step 2. The clearing. Take 30 seconds to scan your mind for grievances. Acknowledge them and deliberately set them aside. Say, for the next 10 minutes, I lay my burdens down. Step 3. The breath. Take 3 deep, silent breaths to calm the nervous system. Step 4. The activation. Begin your 7 rounds of humming. Inhale deep, exhale, focusing the vibration behind the eyes. Visualize the indigo pearl pulsing with the sound. Feel the physical buzzing in your skull. Step 5. The silence. This is crucial. After the 7th hum, sit in absolute silence for 3 to 5 minutes. Do not get up immediately. You have just rung the bell. Now you must listen to the resonance. This silent space is when the intuition comes. This is when the download happens. Watch the colors behind your eyelids. Listen to the quiet ringing in your ears. Just be. What can you expect if you do this consistently? Cayce did not promise that you would see angels or win the lottery on day 1. He promised attunement. The first sign that the pineal is decalcifying and activating is usually a change in your dreams. They become vivid, colorful, and highly symbolic.
You may start remembering them with crystal clarity. The second sign is an increase in intuition, what Cayce called knowing without knowing. You will think of a friend and they will call. You will have a gut feeling about a decision that turns out to be exactly right. The brain fog lifts, and colors might even look brighter in your waking life. A few words of caution. As you begin this work, you might feel pressure in the center of your forehead. This is normal. It is the sensation of increased blood flow and energy to the area. However, if you develop a sharp headache, you are pushing too hard. Stop. Ground yourself. Eat something heavy. You are trying to force a rose to bloom. It must be gentle. Also, as your sensitivity increases, you may find that you are more sensitive to loud noises, bright artificial lights, and crowded places. This is a sign the antenna is working. You will need to protect your energy more consciously. Finally, we must address the lifestyle factors that support this practice. While we are avoiding supplements, we cannot ignore diet entirely. Cayce recommended avoiding heavy meats and fried foods because they lower the vibration of the body, making it harder for the energy to rise.
He specifically recommended almonds and citrus fruits to keep the body alkaline, which supports electrical conductivity. And perhaps most importantly, he recommended getting outside in the early morning sun. The pineal gland is a photoreceptor. It is regulated by light. Getting natural sunlight into your eyes, not staring directly at the sun but being in the light, early in the morning helps reset the gland's circadian rhythm, allowing it to produce melatonin and serotonin efficiently. The Cayce method is an invitation to take back your own spiritual autonomy. You do not need a guru and you do not need a bottle of pills. You have the technology built into the architecture of your skull. You have the crystal, you have the current, and you have the switch. It is time to turn it on. I invite you to try this humming and light protocol for 7 days. Keep a journal next to your bed to record your dreams, as they will likely be the first barometer of change. Notice how you feel during the day. Are you more patient? Is your mind clearer? These are the symptoms of a tuned instrument. If you found this deep dive helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It helps us bring these lost archives to more people. And if you are interested in how Cayce used the power of the subconscious mind to program healing while he slept, make sure you watch the video on the Temple of Sleep next. Until then, keep your vibration high and your inner eye open.